ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So here we find it is further explained about the great qualities which this Ruchi he had, and he was also appointed as a Prajapati, the progenitors for the living entities. And in his wife Akuti, he begot one son and one daughter. So Swayambhu Manu's daughter is being married to Prajapati Ruchi. And specific word is used for Prajapati Ruchi is Brahma Varchasvi. That means spiritually he was very much powerful. He followed all the Brahmanical qualities, all the Brahmanical principles very rigidly. And he was endowed with all great qualities of a Brahmana. See, this is very important. Brahmanas should not be in name only. The whole society, the Vedic culture deteriorated because everybody claimed to be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya only in name. They did not have the quality, and sometimes they were not even working, doing the karma of that particular varna. Two things are very important. Birth is not given so much importance. Birth may be very helpful, but it is not very important. Chatur varna maya shrishtham guna karma vibhagashaha. Society was divided based on guna, the character, the qualities they have acquired, and the activities, the karma they are doing. So earlier, generally, it would follow that a person born in Brahmanical family, in the family of a Brahmana, had a great opportunity to become a Brahmana because of the circumstances. And he is also given that opportunity to develop those qualities. But Bhagavatam says, even if these qualities are found elsewhere, suppose there is a child born in the family of a Shudra, but he has these qualities of a Brahmana. he should also be trained as a Brahmana. He can be trained as a Brahmana. So, generally, no doubt, birth in a Brahmana family is very favorable to be trained as a Brahmana, but it is not that it is compulsory. If these qualities are found elsewhere, even that person can be trained as a Brahmana. What happened over a period of time is that earlier, people who were having the qualities of Brahmanas were trained as a Brahmana. People who were having the qualities of Kshatriyas were trained as a Kshatriya. Similarly, people who had qualities of Vaishyas, they were trained for that kind of work. And people who had none of these qualities were designated the work for other three classes. They would simply carry out services for the other three classes. So that is how the society was divided. Quality, and they would do that kind of work also. Over a period of time, what started happening? Neither they had the qualities of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya, but just because they were born in those kinds of families, they started claiming it to be their birthright that they are also Brahmana, they are also Kshatriyas, specifically these two higher classes. So, neither they had qualities of Brahmana and neither they were doing the work of a Brahmana. Prabhupada gives the example that he has seen many so-called Brahmana because he is born in the family of a Brahmana and he is pulling thela. That means he is doing the work of a Shudra. And people are calling him Panditji, Pai Lago. Panditji, please accept my obeisances. So neither he is having the quality of a Brahmana and neither he is doing the work of a Brahmana. Both are missing. But he is claiming himself to be Brahmana because he is born in the family of a Brahmana. Similarly, we find Prabhupada gives the example that even a great country like America, they lost a war even to a smaller country because people who were not qualified as a Kshatriya, they did not have the guna of a Kshatriya, they were inducted into military. In fact, even when Prabhupada went to America, there was a draft board that practically all young men, they were inducted into the military. You see, even if they had no quality of a Kshatriya. Just like it is said about Kshatriya, Yuddhe cha apalayanam, never run away from the battlefield. He will give up his life, he will die on the battlefield, but he will not run away from the battlefield. He cannot be called as a coward man who is afraid of giving up his life. He cannot be a Kshatriya. You see? So, people who are not having qualification of a Kshatriya are given training of a Kshatriya. What is the value of that? There is no use of that. So that is how we find the whole society over a period of time became deteriorated. Actually speaking, Prabhupada is saying, according to Bhagavatam, Mahabharata was compiled for three classes of people. Stri, Vaishya, Api, Shudra. So for women class, then Vaishya, and for Shudras. And Brahma Bandhus. Brahma Bandhus, those people who are born in higher class, in a family of a Brahmana, but do not have the quality of a Brahmana. Best they can be called as Brahma Bandhus, not a Brahmana. So Prabhupada is giving that example to explain that actually Brahmana is somebody like Prajapati Ruchi, isn't it? That is why this word is used. Brahma Varchasvi. He had the potency of a Brahmana, teja of a Brahmana, spiritual strength he had. So we should also be very introspective. Do we want to become a Brahmana in the name? Prabhupada has given us a great opportunity. Devotional service is so great that any kind of class of person, be it a Shudra, be it a Brahma Bandhu, or even a Chandala, even he can become a qualified Brahmana. Bhagavatam says that. See, Bhagavatam says he becomes qualified even to perform a yajna, which is actually, which can be done only by a Brahmana. So if a Chandala can perform yajna, it surely means he has become qualified as a Brahmana. And if he has become qualified as a Brahmana, he must have qualities of a Brahmana. It cannot be in name. He must be able to demonstrate the qualities of a Brahmana. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Over a period of time, material world left to itself deteriorates. This is the nature of the material world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu were very merciful. They gave opportunity to people to be elevated as Brahmanas, as Goswamis. But we find even later, all these so-called Goswamis, again it became their birthright. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked them up from varieties of not Brahmanical life. These Goswamis, it was not necessarily that they were all Brahmanas. Today the title Goswamis, those who have come after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and Nityananda Prabhu, it was not necessarily that they were Brahmana. They were all from different, but they were initiated by bona fide spiritual master. And Sanatan Goswami has given example that if bona fide spiritual master initiates anyone, quality of a person can change. The example is given just like the bell metal. If properly treated, it can be changed to gold. It's a base metal. Base metal with certain treatment can be changed into gold. Similarly, even though we may have base qualities, if we follow the direction of the spiritual master, actually our qualities can be changed and we can become Brahmana. But then we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, then we remain Brahmana. The moment we neglect the orders of the spiritual master, whatever different kinds of activities he has prescribed that we should be following without fail, chanting our rounds, following the regulative principles, the moment we deteriorate from that, immediately punar mushika bhava. If the spiritual master has the potency to make a person from a Chandala to a Brahmana and even greater than him, then certainly he has a potency. If we do not abide by the order of the spiritual master, then He can make us Punarmushika Bhava. We come back to our original stature of life. This is very essential. We see that example of Lord Balaram teaching a lesson to Roma Harshana Sutta, that he was sitting on Vyasasana and he was supposed to have developed all Brahmanical qualities. And one of the very important qualities of a Brahmana is to show respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to show respect to his superiors. But he did not show. He was puffed up, isn't it? So, this is very important for all of us to understand. Do we want to get deteriorated? Now there are so many Goswamis, so-called Goswamis, isn't it? All of them claim to be descendants of Nityananda Gosai. They claim to be his descendants, claim to be descendant of these great Goswamis, isn't it? But they're all in name only. Where is the quality? We don't find those qualities in them. Real meaning of Goswami is one who has completely controlled his mind and senses. He is called a Goswami. So many of us very easily within 1.5 years become initiated. Prabhupada gave us a chance that we become initiated, and sometimes we don't even do our Gayatri also properly in time. Where is Brahmanical qualification? We take it insignificantly, we don't take it seriously. We misunderstand thinking, no, chanting Hare Krishna is more than enough. So I am already in transcendental position, I am transcendental to being a Brahmana. We think like this, isn't it? No. We are not transcendental in that sense. We have to understand it properly. A Vaishnava means he is already a Brahmana. That means he must be performing the duties of a Brahmana. He must be having qualities of a Brahmana. You see. So, there is a very nice verse wherein Prahlad Maharaj, he is a great Vaishnava. But it is explained that he had all qualities of Brahmana. All qualities of Brahmana. Because it's a fact that if we become a devotee, he must manifest these qualities of Brahmanas. So, it is said about him, this is about Prahlad Maharaj, Brahmanyaha Shila Sampannaha. He was qualified with all great qualities of a Brahmana. You see, in Bhagavatam, many places Lord Krishna says, there is no one more dear to me than Brahmanas. The Lord is, Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaicha. Very considerate towards Brahmana. Because Brahmana is not an ordinary thing. Today it has become a very cheap thing. Brahmana means we understand, some panda kind of a person, extracting money from people in pilgrimage places, asking him, hey, idhar sar lagao, paisa do. So we have come to understand Brahmana something like this. So we may be thinking, wow, Krishna, all these people are very dear to Krishna. Isn't it? We may be thinking like that. That is not the kind of Brahmana. Actually, it has all become very deteriorated in our understanding, in our mind, all these things. Otherwise, Brahmana is not an ordinary person. You see, Brahmana is considered to be the spiritual master of all the Varnas. Isn't it? Very qualified personality. So here it is said, Prahlad Maharaj was endowed with all qualities of a Brahmana. Brahmanyaha Shila Sampannaha. All good character, Shila Sampannaha. He was endowed with all these qualities. And then it is explained what are those qualities. Satya Sandho, determined to understand the absolute truth. He has a great determination to understand the absolute truth. You see, that is one of the foremost quality of a Brahmana. He is very inclined, very determined to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jitendriyaha, And without controlling senses, no question of advancement in spiritual life. No question of advancement. If we are servant of our senses, we will never become Goswami. No question of becoming Goswami. And until and unless we become Goswami, we cannot understand the absolute truth. There is no possibility. So Jitendriyaha, completely in control of his mind and senses. Atmavat Sarvabhutanam. See, very beautifully it is described. His different characteristics, his different interactions with varieties of living entities. When it comes to all living entities in general, Sarvabhutanam, he is like Atmavat, like super soul. Like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is equal to all. He is not thinking that I will be only in the heart of a purified man. The Lord goes to the heart even of a dog, because he is equal to all. The sun is not thinking that I will not shine in the house of a Chandala. Sun is equal to all. So similarly, a Brahmana, he has no discrimination. He is equal to all like the super soul. Ekapriya Suhrittamaha. Just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is our dearmost friend. Suhrittamaha. Uttamaha means among all the friends, the Supreme Lord is the best friend. Likewise, a devotee or a Brahmana, he is actually the best friend of all living entities. Then, Dasavat Sannata Arya Angrihi, to those who are superior. See how very different behaviors with different people. It is not that with everyone he treats with the same stick, isn't it? Vaishnava etiquette means there is a difference in behavior with everyone. To juniors, there is a different behavior. To equal, there is a different behavior. To senior, there is a different behavior. You see. So here it is explained about his superiors. To those who were respectable superiors of him, to their lotus feet, he was always obedient. Sannata means always obedient. Like what? Like Dasavat. Like a servant, menial servant to his superiors. You see. Bhagavatam, just like Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita, respectable superiors should not be even offered verbal arguments. One should be like a menial servant. This is Prahlad Maharaj is explaining this. Pitravad Deenavatsalaha, for the poor people. He was like Pitravat, like father. You see, just like father is very compassionate upon his children. Likewise, a great devotee of the Lord or a Brahmana, he is supposed to be like Pitravat for poor. Bhratravat Sadrashe Snigdho, very affectionate. Snigdho means very affectionate. And like Bhratravat, like brother, to whom? Sadrashe, to equals. See? To superiors, like a menial servant, very obedient. And to equals, very affectionate, like Bhratravat, like brothers will have affection with each other. That is to equal. So we should have this. See, all these are very important when we are dealing in the community of devotees. These all we should be able to express We cannot express externally. All these qualities should come, and then it will become manifest in our behavior. That is important. Then, Gurushu. See, there is a lot of difference between elderly, respectable people and the spiritual master. See, spiritual master has a unique position. Gurushu Ishvara Bhavanaha. Gurushu, the spiritual master, is respected on the level of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Bhavanaha. And then one may think, okay, this Brahmana or a great devotee of the Lord is qualified with all these qualities, endowed with so many things. He must be very proud. He would have developed a lot of pride, because generally when a person has good qualities or some great qualities, he becomes very proud of his qualities. So we find Vidya, he is endowed with all these things. He is endowed with knowledge. Artha, he is endowed with richness, opulence. Rupa, he is endowed with beauty. Then Janma, he is endowed with even a great bird. Adhyo, Adhyo means endowed with. But still, Mana, Stambha, Vivarjitaha, is completely free from pride and impudence. Mana means pride and Stambha means impudence. Completely free from these false ego, false honor. Isn't it? Even after having these qualities, we don't have qualities and we still are proud. With some little, something, some shlokas we would have learnt and we become very proud. Some knowledge we gain and we become very proud. Now we are not endowed with everything. Even with little we become falsely proud. So, this is what we should see. So, Prabhupada is saying that actually one should be having this quality, and that is possible if he follows regulations strictly and rigidly. He followed very strictly and rigidly. So until and unless we follow rules and regulation very strictly and rigidly, then we will be only name, will be Brahmana in name, devotees in name only, and people will criticize, because finally if a son or a disciple, if they, whatever activities they perform, it is either the father or the spiritual master who is glorified or not glorified, or people will point out faults. So if we want that people point out fault at Srila Prabhupada, then we can act in whatever way, uncontrolled, in whatever way we like, isn't it? I will think anyway nobody, what is going to happen to me? But we will be indirectly inglorious to the spiritual movement which Srila Prabhupada has created with so much pain, you see. So it is very important that we should be what we are. We pose to be what we are, and we don't try to pose something as what we are not. That is not a quality of a devotee. You see, that in front of others I am posing I am some great devotee, but actually I have no such qualities. One does not become a great devotee simply by some erudite scholarship or with all these are not the great qualities of a devotee. One of the very important qualities of a one who has become learned is Vidya Vinaye Sampanne. Isn't it? Vinaye, he achieves great humility and understands his real position, that actually I am a servant of the Lord. Isn't it? So this is what is explained here. So we'll stop with this. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.